And this is the top of the project right here. And these are Bath and Body hand soaps. And I found one with bats on it, couldn't resist. And then I found one with spiders on it. Couldn't resist that either because it coordinates so beautifully with this suite. Now, I don't work for Bath and Body, but I could. I really could because I just love their products. Oh, Carol says that the online store looks nice and she noticed that it will tell you when something's on back order, and that is a nice improvement. That's great feedback, Carol. So yeah, as you all learn things about the new online store, share them with me, okay? Hey, Joanne, welcome. All right, so here we're going to embellish this box tonight. And this is one of the brand new coffee carriers, okay? And I've embellished all the way around the box. And let me show you where the coffee carriers are. We'll start there. The coffee carriers are in the very front of the catalog. Now, when I opened this catalog and I saw this, it had my name written all over the page because I love coffee, I love iced tea, I like hot tea, I love cappuccinos. So when I saw this, it's like, oh my gosh, this was created for me. So the mini coffee carrier is right here, okay? Now when you purchase this, you're gonna get a package of 8, all right? And then you can also purchase 8 paper cups and 8 plastic lids. Now the question came up this past weekend, how big is the cup, all right? And for many of you who have stamped with me for years, we did coffee carriers a few years ago with little mini cups. So those mini cups are much smaller than this cup, okay? Because I know a lot of you are wondering about that. I'm going to measure the height for you. And the height of the cup is 3.5 inches. So that's how tall it is. So it's bigger than those little minis that we used a few years ago, all right? And let's see, Joyce says the search for price will be convenient when you need a certain amount to maximize a credit or to get a certain amount. Oh my gosh, Joyce, I never thought of that. Never thought of that. That is awesome. Great observation. All right, so that's our cups. They're bigger than what we had a few years ago when we did a little class with this, okay? And I know a lot of you were asking about that. All right, well now we're gonna move on over to the Magic in This Night suite, all right? And I wanna show you a couple of things that I saw when I first noticed this set, okay? And I'm gonna zoom up for us. All right, so what I like about this set is, I like these 2 dies because these 2 dies can be layered together, and you're gonna see that tonight. And look how they've created a name plate. What do you call it? A name card. Look how they've created this name card using this shape. And it only takes minutes. See that little clock? That means it takes minutes to create, not very long at all. So that really appealed to me. I love the layering of these 2 dies and the shape of them. The other thing I liked was this is the smaller die right here, so you can stamp it and cut it out with the smaller die. And I loved the bats. They are intricate. They are just so beautiful. And you're gonna get a closer look at those bats tonight, just in case you don't have this set yet, all right? So you can bundle the stamp set and the dies, and it's called Hallows Night Magic Bundle, and it's $46.75. Now we're going to go back over, flip a page here, and go over to the rest of the suite. Look what they also did with those two dies. They made this as a bag topper, which I thought was really cool. So there's a lot of use right here in these dies. All right, so this is the paper right here. And then here's the stamp set and the dies. There we go. And this is the Cobwebs embossing folder, black glitter, iridescent pearls, and the mesh ribbon. So I'm going to show you those close up. And I'm going to start with the stamp set. And now I can zoom out a little bit. So this is Hallow's Night Magic right here. And I think I've shown you everything in the book as far as how to use the stamp set. But it looks like you've got 4 greetings right here. I love the bats, and I'll show you why. Not only are they an intricate design, but they're connected. So when you stamp these bats, okay, they'll stamp at the same time. And then check out the die. You will cut them out at the same time, and when they're cut out, you have 2 separate bats. So love this. Now let me show you one of the pieces of designer paper. This is one of the sheets of designer paper, and this is Cajun Craze, by the way. And if you flip this over and you put these dies right here, you can cut the bats out. And when they cut out, you're going to have 2 separate bats. So not only can you stamp the bats, but you can also just cut them out of the designer paper. And you can tell that I've done a bit of that with this sheet of paper. All right, and what I do is, let's see, let me find one. I would just cut around it, just like this, okay? There's my bats, and then line that up, and that's gonna go through your die cutting machine. I know the bats are amazing. I love the bats. Okay, so something else to show you while I'm in this case. This case here is actually not by Stampin' Up. The stamp set comes in the standard clear mount case. But I recently discovered from Stampin' Storage the Stampin' Die bundle. Now, I am an affiliate of Stampin' Storage. So if you were to use my link, there's a possibility that I would earn commission. So keep that in mind. If you decide that you need to order some things, I can give you that affiliate link. So when you open this case, it comes with this magnet sheet, all right? And here's the back of it. And so what I did was I took out the insert from the standard stamp case. I inserted it in here, all right? And then this is where you add the magnet sheet. And do you see the little clamps? These hold the magnet sheet in there. And here are all my dies, all right? And then my stamp sets are stored here. So for this particular set, I had the 2 together. So it is a way that I am considering organizing my stamp sets and dies that go together. Now let's look at Ornate Frames. This is a die set that I would use with tons of stamps in the annual catalog and holiday catalog. And so I just have this on a magnet sheet that will go into a bin, because I'll use this on different words and shapes and images and all that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? But this one was kind of solely for this stamp set, and that's why I have bundled the 2 together. And so I think you can get 3 of these maybe for one price, or you can order 20 at a time. Maybe you can order 10 at a time. I don't quite remember. But anyway, I wanted you to know in case you were wondering about that magnet sheet inside. So let me show you what all these dies do, all right? So these are the Halloween magic dies, and I'm going to zoom out. Now here are the bats that I cut out with the designer paper instead of stamping, okay? These 3 bats here, they are I think they're 3 different sizes. These 2 might be the same size. But these 3 bats are on this die. So when you cut them out, you're gonna get 3 bats at one time, all right? Then you also get the flower and stem, and I'll show you why in a second. Here's the spider. You can stamp it and cut it out. We have a border here, and we're going to use this border tonight on our carrier, our coffee carrier. And then here are those 2 shapes that I was telling you about, and this is what caught my eye with the set. So that's what the dies look like, okay? And if you like this reference sheet, you'll be able to print one out, and it'll be on my blog this Friday right under the video, all right? You'll be able to find it there. Okay, now this is the designer paper, all right? So we're using this pattern tonight, and then we're gonna use this pattern tonight with the spiders. Now, with this designer paper, you're going to get a lot of mileage out of it. I have some customers who say, well, I really don't celebrate Halloween, so I'm really not going to use that paper. But if you flip that sheet of paper over, you're going to have a floral pattern or a geometric pattern. And that means that you can use it throughout the year. It will definitely carry over. Yeah, the flower die does look like one of the poppies. Absolutely, Margaret. So you're right about that. Here's another one of the spider webs, and the opposite side of that are the bats. And then we've got pretty peacock here, and that's got a pattern on it. And look what the opposite side is. Isn't that pretty? And then this is a Cajun craze, and this is florals on this one, and then lines on the opposite side of the paper. Here are the spiders, and then you've got this geometric diamond shape. And more flowers, and if you flip it over, then you get the bats. So I think you're going to get more mileage out of the Halloween paper because when you flip it over, you have florals on the other side. So that's why there's a flower and a stem as part of the die set, because this flower coordinates here and with the other flowers. And so you'll be able to use that throughout the year as well. So yeah, the flowers are really pretty. Do you all remember a stamp set called, Petal Palette? And if you were with me a few years ago, we created a sampler, and it had birds on it and flowers. And this reminds me of that Petal Palette paper. So anyway, that was kind of cool. So, but that's what the paper looks like. And then here at the bottom, the paper coordinates with Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, Pretty Peacock, and Whisper White. Now this reference sheet will be on my blog this Friday right under the video, all right? So you'll be able to print that and use that if you want. Okay. So there's also some black glitter paper that's part of the suite, and you get 2 12 by 12 sheets, and we're going to use some of this tonight, all right? And this is the mesh ribbon right here, all right? And I also saw this mesh ribbon somewhere else in the catalog, and they had colored it, and they probably used their Stampin' Blends to change the color of this. I have not tried it yet, so. Thanks, Gail. Gail's looking at her sampler now. Here are the iridescent pearls, and they do come in two sizes, a small and a medium, and we are going to use these tonight. And then the last part of the suite is the Cobwebs 3D embossing folder, and there are 4 different cobwebs. Okay, so a few years ago we had a different cobweb embossing folder. So if you didn't get that one, now you have the opportunity to get this one. So that's what that looks like. It's really, really pretty and detailed. All right, I think we might be ready. So if you want, you might want to grab pencil and paper and jot down some measurements. I'm going to move things around here so I can get to everything. We will be using the new die cutting machine tonight. So yeah, the spider webs, oh my gosh, they do, on the paper, they do look like doilies, and they come in the basic black and the Cajun craze, and yeah, I like it a lot. All right, so this is what you're going to need to get started, okay? And we're going to be wrapping this around the coffee box, okay? So you're going to need 1 strip, and it's going to need to measure 1 3/4 by 12 inches. All right. And then you're going to need another strip just like that, the same designer paper. Again, it's going to be 1 3/4, and it's going to be 5 7/8. All right. So you've got this piece and you have this piece. All right. Now we're getting to the spiders here, and this is going to measure 1 inch by 12 inches. All right. So those two will go together. And then 1 inch by 5 7/8 of an inch. Now someone is taking home this coffee carrier tonight, the treat that we're making tonight. I'll be mailing this tomorrow to someone. So be sure to comment, especially if you're brand new, and let us know where you're from, all right? And then I'm also going to give away some more of my bee nails, all right? So don't let me forget about that. Okay, so we're going to get started, and I'm going to start with stamp and seal here. We'll start with the smaller one. Basically, what I'm doing is I am just going to run adhesive right along there, and I think you can see that. And then I'm going to add it to this, all right? I gotta make sure they're the same size. I'm gonna use grid paper for this, and I'll try and put it so that you can see it. I'm gonna lay it right here on the line, and then I'm gonna line the designer paper up, and I'll show you as soon as I'm done, if you can't see it, at 1/4 inch. All right? Yay, Tracy, welcome. So I've got 1/4 inch of spider paper, and then the web paper. All right, so that's one piece already done, and I use these lines to line it up. Now, when I first started stamping, I had no idea that I could do that. And now I love grid paper. I'm always using the grid paper because I can line everything up. Okay, so now we've got the long strip, and we're gonna wanna get those spiders connected to it. So I'm gonna run this, all right? And let's see, this one's gonna be a little harder for me to do and for you to see, but let's see, I'm gonna see what I've got going here. All right, I think that will work. I have this right on the line, okay? I know, I love grid paper. Oh no, Joanne's been waiting for a package from Tennessee for over a week now. I'm telling you, I know, postages sometimes. I hate waiting. Boy, do I hate the wait. Hang on, girls. Okay, so now, and you're not going to be able to see me line it up at this end because of my Be Creative in the way. But what I'm doing is, I am just, now see my purple move, so let me put that down. And right there. All right, and hopefully, hang tight. There we go. Okay, we got it, okay? That is a little longer on that edge, and of course, those types of things drive me crazy, okay? So hang on, and I'm gonna try and do this again. I really got off that time. And it is harder when you're working with 12 inches, all right? So this is what not to do, but luckily enough, even with the Stampin' Seal, I am able to pretty much lift this up, which I'm pretty surprised about because it is much stickier than snail. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. I think you all get the idea, and I'm gonna try and focus on getting this just right. All right, and I'm gonna eye it now, so hang tight. I didn't have this much trouble when I made the first one. All right. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna try again. Oh, gracious. This time I'm not even gonna use the lines, I'm just doing it. All right, I think that'll be good. Okay, very good. All right, there we go. Now that part is all done. Okay, now we're ready for the carrier. So let's bring that over here. And this is what it looks like, okay? It's in craft paper. So you know me, I always just, bend all my score lines. All right. So it'll be easy to put together. All right, and I will tell you, when I made this, I did actually have it together. All right, it wasn't laying flat. Okay. All right, so now that part is done. I know, Nancy, I can't stand it when it's not even. So hopefully this is gonna turn out, right? Okay, now to adhere the paper to the box, I'm going to use our Stampin' Seal Plus, okay? Instead of Tombow glue, instead of tear and tape. But I could certainly use those things if I wanted, okay? So you've got some options for your adhesive. All right, so now I am going to, and this one's brand new, so try and get this thing started. All right, and then I'm gonna do this side. Here we go. And I'm gonna do the ends. Hopefully you all can see that tape. With the Stampin' Seal Plus, it's got like these little ridges on it, so. All right, to get started, I will lay this flat, and then after that, we're gonna be putting it together. All right, so I'm starting right on this edge, and I am centering this. All right, let me move this up a little bit. I think I'll be happier with that. All right, there. Okay, so what I've done is I've centered it, okay, from top to bottom. I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get the box together. All right. I sometimes forget how to do these, so hang on. It's not very graceful. Okay, this goes first, then this, and then this. All right? So that's the box together. Now I'm going to turn the corner, and as I turn that corner, I am going to be rubbing this edge, okay? And then we'll center that. So far so good. Okay, and now this one. All right, there we go. Okay. Oh, and I forgot. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do this one. Okay, very good. Okay, now I am going to share something with you in case you decide to make one of these, okay? And I forgot to do it. When you do start on this, start on one of the shorter sides, okay? If you start here on the shorter side with designer paper and go all the way around, then all you have to do is put this on the back. But I didn't do that, so look what happened. So now I've got to be sure that I just do it this way. It still works out fine. You are going to see a seam on the back of this, but it still works fine. But if you decide to do it, always start on the short side, all right? I wish I had done that, and I totally forgot about that. So there's more than one way to do something, but anyway, just be aware of that. And now here's the front, and then I'm going to piece these two sides together, all right, just like that. Okay, so there's the front, here's the side. There we go. I'm going to rub that in really good before I move on. I always do that when I'm wrapping a box, is just to make sure it's stuck really good, then burnish that edge really well. Okay, and then bring this over, and it still works. I just have a seam in the back, okay? So remember, if you decide to wrap one of your coffee carriers, start on the short side, all right? But in all honesty, you can't even tell that I did that. And look, I've got that awesome spider web right up there in the middle, which is kind of what I wanted, all right? And the seam, that can be the back. So, hi Terry, welcome. All right, so that is how you embellish that. And now we're going to take it one step further, and we are going to add, let me find one. We're going to add this black glitter border. Okay, see that? This border is part of this die set. So let me just show you that right here. All right. So this is the border, and I cut this out earlier, and this is the black glitter paper. That's part of the suite, all right? And Joyce says, I'm going to have to put the grid paper in different places in the house since I make cards wherever I am. Yes, it will make your layering much easier. That's right, absolutely. Okay, all right, so I'm going to tell you how many of these you need. You are going to need 2 pieces of the black glitter paper. Is it glitter or glimmer? I think they're calling it glitter paper. Now, I'll tell you something I love about our glitter paper. There is very little mess. Maybe a few little flecks of black dots on my nails, but that's it. It's not like messy glitter, okay? So you're going to need 2 of these strips, and they're going to need to measure 1 1/4 inches by 12 inches. All right. And then you're going to get 2 full ones cut here, and then you can even cut a 1/2 one. And I'll tell you all about that 1/2 one in a bit. All right. So 2 of these. And I'll just show you one more time what the carrier looks like here. So when you look at them, what do you think? What do you like better? I love that glitter paper. I love the design. I love the border. I think it really makes it pop. So I'm really happy about how that turned out. We're going to use some Tombow glue. I'm going to grab some water real quick. Okay. And we're going to get started on our border. And I'm actually going to start. Now here you are going to have a seam. There is no way around it, okay? No matter how you do your carrier, you're going to have that seam with these borders, but you really don't notice it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take some Tombow liquid glue. I am just using a little bit, just a few little dots. Here we go. And that's certainly plenty, but you don't need to cover it. And then I'm going to use my take your pick tool and pick that up and try not to get my fingers in glue. And I'm going to run it right here. Now, if you get glue on your box, it's going to dry clear, okay? There is no need for you to worry about that. And that is your first one, all right? Beth, you might need the suite. I'm loving the paper. I think it's very versatile. It's going to carry over into other events or seasons. Loving this border. And a lot of times, to be honest, when I get a die set, I don't always use the border, but I really like the border. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since this paper is thick, it's going to be hard to wrap that around and for it to stay together, okay? So I'm going to just use a little bit of it, and let's see. I'm putting the glue on this end, and you'll see why. The glue is here, and now it's going to be on the box, and I'm piecing these two together, okay? And I'm going to let it dry before I trim the border, okay? All right. And by the way, keep your scraps because you never know. You may make a card and you may only need a little piece of the glitter. So keep your scraps. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim right there, okay? Can you see my seam? I know, I can't see it. Hi, Simone, welcome. So there you are. Okay, now let's look. Haha, look at this. This fits perfectly. And I just snipped it from right here. And so we're gonna reuse it. So this time we're gonna put glue on this, and I just do really little dots just so I won't have glue everywhere. I don't like to get this on my fingers because it wants to stay there. So, okay. There we go. And now we're going to put this end on. And it also gives me wiggle room in case I'm crooked. I've got room to wiggle that and get it in the right place. So I'm going to give that just a few minutes to dry. That fit perfectly. So by the way, that's 2 borders so far. Thank you, Mary Kay. Thank you so much. All right, I had a field day in Bath and Body. I saw all kinds of things that we can use with their Stampin' Up! Products. Okay, so now that side is done. So now let's go back to a long border. Now here is a tip for you. So I left these, okay, so that I could show you. I've got 2 tips for you. Okay, so these holes have not been poked out. And so I'm going to take, I never know what to call this one, pointer. I don't know what to call it. But guess what I'm doing? I've got 2 here, ladies. They're on top of each other, and I'm popping out 2 at one time, okay? So keep that in mind. You can use your take your pick tool to do that. All right. Keep those even. This is much thicker paper, so it takes a little bit of poking to get these little things out. And you might even, I don't know if you can see it or not, I have a few little specks of black on my nails, but certainly not the glitter like, you know, we used when we were a kid and it got absolutely everywhere. I can't stand that stuff. Okay, so I'm almost done. Thank you for being patient. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to pick up all this stuff. You know, this mess that I just made. Hang tight. All right, one more. Okay, so now my two borders are done and I need to get rid of this. So I'm going to take the lint brush or the lint roller and I am going to pick up all those little pieces and get them out of my way. Okay, so that is done. Now we can go back and add our border right here. I'm going to use the entire length of this one. I'm just loving the border. I also used it on a card that I'll probably make for you next. Actually, I might make it for my blog tomorrow. So check out my blog maybe tomorrow afternoon and see if I have anything new posted. All right, so I'm going to pick this up. Whoops. Maybe I can pick it up like this. Now I'm just making a mess with my glue. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to add this one right here. And I'll just hold it down for a few minutes until it adheres. All right, there we go. I wonder if I can roll up this glue right here. All right. It is a good idea with the lint brush, but now I've got glue and I don't know what that's gonna do. All righty, so now I need one more here, okay? And so let's see, where's my glue again? And I'm gonna be putting it on this side and not the other end. You know, okay, now that's good. All right, and now we're adding this little piece. Okay. I'll give that a few seconds to dry before I trim that off. And then we'll go over here and we'll get rid of that. All right. And you can't see the seam at all. Love it. And maybe it's because it's black paper. Now remember those shorter pieces that we cut? I'll show you. Remember you cut 2 in the regular length and then with what's left over cut another one? Well, you can use that little one right here, okay? So that's our last one. And we're going to put glue on the back of the entire thing. There we go. Hey Dawn, welcome. Good to have you tonight. Okay. Oh, Sandy hasn't seen the lint brush before. Yep, it picks up all kinds of good messes, Sandy. And Sue says, this set is so cute. Just got mine yesterday. Ladies, do yourself a favor and always buy stamps and their dies. Sue, what a great recommendation. Absolutely. And I think you'll be happy with these dies anyway. All right, so here we go. It's my last one. Okay, Sue, did you get the coffee carriers? I hope you did. If not, you might need to place another order. Oh, all right. And I'm just letting that dry. And now we're going to trim off this one little piece. Okay. and it moved because it's not quite dry yet. So I just slipped it back up there. And now this is done, ladies, okay? Your little border is done all the way around your box. I'm loving this. I can even see this border on Christmas paper in a red or green. Wouldn't that be nice? Thank you, Sheila. I know the carrier is awesome. So many more things fit in it other than the coffee cups. So you're absolutely right. Well, ladies, we're finished with that part, but now we're going to do some stamping, okay? So we're going to get ready for that. And what we're stamping now is we're going to cut out some things. We're going to create this tag. So we've got to stamp and cut out these items, okay? And then, of course, we have to do the bats, okay? So that's what we're doing next. Oh, and by the way, do you see it's hard for you to see this spider, I know. But this little spider is from the Little Treats bundle that we did last Wednesday night. And I even put little embellishments on it, but he's hard to see because it's black. And that's hard to show up on the camera. The scissors I'm using are called Paper Snips, and they're in this Stampin' Up! Annual catalog towards the back, Brenda. So you'll find them there, and they're awesome. And they come with a little plastic holder too. So they're awesome. All right, so let's get busy with our tag, okay? And let's see, let me put this away. I'm trying to clean up my area so that we can bring in our new cutting tool. And the first thing that we're going to cut this evening is going to be our tag, all right? So I'm gonna pop these out. And I'm gonna bring over our brand new machine. Here it is. I'm a little worried about the glue on my mat because I don't want it on my new machine. So hang tight, and I just might move this mat. All right, and I'm gonna zoom out. Okay. So I'm gonna open up our new machine, and if you are not familiar with our Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, on my Facebook page, I did a live last Thursday night that goes into great detail, okay? So be sure to look at that video if you have questions. All right, so for cutting, our first sandwich is gonna be number 1. And the reason I know that is because I've got a sandwich diagram right here. And I'm going to use it for die cutting, okay? So I need platform 1, then I need number 2. By the way, this is number 2. That's the next part of the sandwich. Then I need 1 of number 3. And then I'm going to try and cut 2 at one time, ladies, okay? So for my larger die, it's going to be cut on basic black. And then for the spiders, I'm using the smaller die, okay? So that's our sandwich. And now we're going to put 3 on top. And that will complete it, and then I'm just gonna roll it through. All right, now my table's gonna shake, and so my camera is, so I'm sorry about that. All right, I'm just gonna roll this on through. And it's crackling, which is fine. It's just creating pressure. All right, so there we go. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that an awesome die cut shape? And then here are the spiders. Isn't that awesome? Okay. I'm going to try and move some things out of the way. And there goes my mat. So everything got sticky. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to tape these 2 together. Joyce is asking, do you ever turn your dies to the outside of the holder so there is no chance that your dies would scratch the rubber stamps? I'm a worrywart. That is a great question, Joyce. I just got these stamp cases, so I haven't given that much thought. You could do that. There wouldn't be anything wrong with you doing that at all. Just be careful, because I've noticed with these dies, these are the blades right here. If you rub your finger along this die, it will cut your finger. That's happened to me on several occasions. So you do want to be careful if you're storing your die with the blade side up. All right, just when you pick it up, be super careful that you don't cut yourself. So, but no, that's an excellent suggestion. All right, I'm just going to center this, everyone. Just like this. All right, and of course, you know I want it super straight. Okay, now guess what I'm going to do? This is super cool. I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to measure this, all right? And this die measures about 4.5 inches long, okay? No, that's about 4 1/4 actually. So if it's about 4 1/4 inches long, I'm gonna actually trim this at 2 1/8, all right? And when I trim this, let's see if I did how I did. Huh, perfect. I did this absolutely perfectly. So cut it at 2 1/8. You've got 2 tags, just like that, okay? So that's that. And now we're going to do some more stamping and some more cutting. And then we'll get that tag put together, okay? All right. So we definitely want to stamp open if you dare. Joanne says that I store my dies blade side down. Okay, my cutter, Brenda, is from Stampin' Up, and it's in the annual catalog in the very back. Okay, it's called the Stampin' Trimmer. All right, I'm just going to stamp this right in the center. Okay, so that's open if you dare. And then this sheet is going to be for my bats, because I'm going to stamp them tonight instead of cutting them out of the designer paper. Now, oh, something I wanted to bring up to everyone. I'll probably do that here. Okay, so I'm gonna have a quick commercial, okay? Okay, so I have been asked this question several times in the last week. Let's talk about removing stamps off the blocks, okay? This sticker image is super sticky. So when it sticks to the block, it sticks really well. And sometimes it can be hard to pull this up. So if you turn your tool around and tighten it back on, you have a putty knife, okay? So you can take your putty knife, and this will be super hard for you to see. Let me just zoom all the way in maybe and see how we do. Whoa, I've never zoomed in that close. Okay, so do you see how the stamp is just sticking to the block and it won't come up? I'm gonna take the putty knife, okay? And I am going to slide that. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to slide it under the sticker, okay? And so when I slide it under the sticker and lift up, then it will come off. Okay, now I'm gonna try and zoom out. All right. So a lot of people, you know, I've had like 3 questions about this putty knife this week, okay? So I just want everyone to know that, all right? And also, a lot of the times, you know, the stamps inside the stamp case, well, they don't want to come up out of the case, okay? Like this trick or treat doesn't want, we'll do the spider. The spider does not want to come out of the case. So you're going to use the putty knife and you're going to do the very same thing. You're going to lift under the sticker. You got to make sure you're under the sticker and then you can peel it up, okay? Hi, Carol, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. Yay! And I'm so glad you said hello, so your name is in the drawing tonight. That is awesome. Oh gosh, well Simone, I will have to, unless I've got one of my regulars looking at their catalog tonight, this is the Take Your Pick tool, and it is in the annual book. I don't have my book in front of me, so I don't know the item number, but I bet I have one of my gals on here who can give you the item number, and then you can order that in my online store. It comes with 2 putty refills for picking up paper. And look what else you can get. This is a stylus for scoring cardstock. So you could take out your putty knife, you could slide this on, and then you've got a stylus for scoring paper. It's the Take Your Pick tool in the annual catalog. Oh gosh, I have 3 Carols on here tonight. That's awesome. Hi Lee, welcome. So we'll get you that item number. Hello Nicole, welcome. I don't think you've ever been on before. It's nice to have you. And thanks for saying hello. All right, we're gonna get back to the project, okay? Hang on one second. I still had Simone's comment up there. Okay, so does that clear it up with the Take Your Pick tool? I just got a lot of questions this week, so I want to make sure you know how to use our tools. Okay, we're going to ink up the bat in the black Memento ink. Now, this block is pretty big, and the ink pad is smaller than the block, okay? And so we're going to ink this up upside down. So Carol's telling us, yeah, Simone sees it, page 159, item 144107, and it's $10. Yeah, and it's a pretty nifty tool. The more I use it, the more I can't live without it. Okay, so I've inked the bats upside down, all right? And now I'm going to stamp them right here. And I'm just gonna push hard here. And there they are. Now, let me show you real close. Aren't they beautiful? I just love the detail, the intricate detail on these bats. It just drew my eye right to the catalog page, and I'm like, I gotta have those bats. Okay, so now we're gonna do some more cutting out. All right, and this is our brand new Stamp and Cut Emboss machine. And it will be available to you on September 1. All right. And let me get the dies. So I'm going to need 2 dies here. I'm going to use the bats. And then I'm going to head over to the Ornate Frames. And they came out last year. And it's in the annual book. And I'm going to use this design. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, hopefully you can see. I don't know if I can zoom out any more than I already have. Oh, a little bit, good. I know, aren't the bats fun? All right, so I'm gonna put my die right here, okay? So there's that. And then I've got to find my words. I hope they're not under the machine. Hang on. Oh, I see it. It is under the machine. Okay, here's Open If You Dare. And I'm going to turn the die this way and center. Okay? All right. And then my bats are ready. I'm going to carefully put my plate on top. And then I'm gonna roll this through, and I'll hang on to the handle for stability. All right, there we go. Okay. And now they're all done. And I'm gonna move our machine out of the way. All right. And now let's see what we've got here. All right, here's Open If You Dare. And then here are the bats all cut out. So now we have two separate bats with one turn of the handle, okay? So let's make our tag. I need to look at this tag here. And then we're gonna pop up the words, open if you dare. So I'm gonna need dimensionals, and we'll get these out. I'll just put one in the middle. I know y'all are surprised that I didn't use two dimensionals on this. And I'm gonna put this about right here, okay? And by the way, whoever wins the carrier tonight, I will fold it flat to ship it to you, okay? Now here's our little bat. We're gonna use the little one now. And I actually want him to be a little three-dimensional. So I'm just kind of bending his wings, okay? Just like that. And then I'm going to use a glue dot on the back of his body. See the glue dot? And then I can add this right here. And then if I want, I can still work on those wings a little bit. There is actually some space right there. And I'm going to take a tiny dimensional and just put under there, and that'll give the little bat some more support. Okay. And I might even be able to use my putty knife and get that under there, and that definitely gave the bat a little more support. Okay, right there. So we're going to add the iridescent pearls. If you all could only see my workspace, I am telling you, it is a mess over here. All right. And so we're gonna add some dots. I'm just turning that around. All right, we're gonna put one up here. All right, and I'll zoom in a little for you. And one here. I love these things. I've been having so much fun with these embellishments. And I'm trying to think, how many do you get? 140. All right, so that's our tag. And I'm going to take, now this is a retired punch, okay? And it's just a hole punch. So nothing special. All right, it just makes a smaller hole right there. Okay, and so that is the tag. And so we're still going to use the bat. I have not forgotten about him. All right, and as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and we'll just kind of shape his wings and kind of break up the fibers of the paper a little bit. And then I'm going to use two glue dots on him. Okay, and I can put them on the top and the top and the bottom there, and then he can actually rest right on this carrier, just like that. So Lee says, when can a demonstrator order the cutting pads that go with the new machine? When you order the machine, Lee, it comes with all the pads that you will need. It comes with the platform, the thinner plate, and then the two cutting plates. Starting September 1, you can order additional plates and platforms, okay? So great question, and it is coming, okay? All right, so let's see. Let's get some ribbon going here. I have no idea how much I'm using, ladies. You do get 10 yards of this, by the way, and if you did participate in my ribbon share, you're getting 2.5 yards of this, okay? All right, so basically we're just tying this around the handle. I probably have 24 inches of ribbon, okay? And then I'll slide this up here and we're just making a bow. This is the easy part. Of course, I haven't done it yet, have I? All right, let's see. And then you can just kind of spread this out like that, okay? So that's basically all it is. Now, I do have some baker's twine and basic black. Now, this is an older baker's twine, but we still sell it. Hello, Jacqueline. Jacqueline is my daughter, and she's out of town this evening visiting her twin sister. And Jacqueline is my tech support, and so she's checking on me right now to make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. So, all right. Brenda, the top plate will wear out, the cutting plate. It does get scratched up as soon as you start using it. It's just the nature of the cutting plate, okay? And yeah, with all the etchings. But you'll have it a long time before you have to replace it, okay? It'll be a while. So, all right, so back to baker's twine real quick. In the annual book, there is a combo pack of ribbon. It has the black baker's twine and it has a red ribbon with it. And it's part of the Playful Pet Suite. And so you can get some of this basic black twine in that combo pack, okay? So I want you to know you can get it, just not by itself, all right? So I'm taking a little bit of it. I mean, it's like 10 inches or something. Okay. And I'm just going to thread that through. Zoom out a little bit. And then what I usually do is, and you can do this a lot of different ways, I'm just going to take that twine and put it under this ribbon. And I know this is going to be hard for y'all to see. Maybe I'll do it this way. All right. So I'm going to take that twine and I'm going to tuck it under here like this, okay? There we go. And then I'll add the tag. Ugh, you're stuck. Remember that glue that I spilled earlier? There it is on the placemat. All right, and we're just going to thread this through. Sue, the ribbon shares should be available the very first week of September. All right, order was placed today for shares, ladies. So they're coming along. They'll be here. All right, now I'm going to reposition this, okay, till I get it like I want it. I'm going to trim the mesh here, the mesh ribbon. All right, there we go. We'll get rid of that. And you just keep playing with that tag until you get it to lay the way that you want it to, okay? So Sheila says, hello, this is my first time watching you demonstrate. You have sold me on the carriers. Talk about a cute carrier and that ribbon. Oh, Sheila, I am so glad. I am so glad you like it. Coffee's right up my alley, so I'll be using these for everything that I can think of. And thank you so much for watching us tonight. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a drawing very shortly. You'll be able to order the magnetic platform September 1. Okay, Pam? So you'll be able to get it then. And okay, so let's go back. I've got my Bath and Body hand soaps. These I won't be shipping, ladies, because of the weight. It would just cost way too much to ship. All right, here's Happy Haunting with the spiders, and that goes there. All right. So there is your carrier. And I did forget one thing, and that's our little spider. Okay, so hang tight. What did I do with him? Now this spider is from the Little Treats bundle that we did last Wednesday night, okay? I'm also gonna kind of curve him a little bit with his little legs so he looks three-dimensional. And I'm going to use a glue dot for him. Now, I have a story to tell you about the spider, okay? The spider, and I'm gonna put it with the web, by the way. It's going right up there on the web. There is a really cool spider in this stamp set. This one right here. And it has a die to cut it out. And We used my dies on Saturday and I can't find my spider. I have no idea where it is. I know it's where I had class and it's probably on the floor and I may never see that die again, so I'm in search of it. I have been through everything to try to find that. So anyway, that's why I'm not using that spider tonight, and that's the one I really wanted to use. So it does come with a spider stamp and die, okay? All right, so what do you think? There's your tag, and remember, you can get 2 tags out of one of those dies, okay? And if you have any more questions, you know that you can leave them in the comments for me, okay? You can color this ribbon, I'm pretty sure, and I would try it with Stampin' Blends and make it a different color.